Hello guys, a very good evening to everyone. Today is August 16th, another episode of our daily recaps and teachings. So today guys was a tough day. Frankly, it was not a very easy day. The problem today was there were just too many plays at the open, and then the market was gapping down, and there was few wins and few losses. And there was a midday chop, and we lost some in the middle of the day. But there were definitely some good setups, good winners, and but I'm going to talk about a few mental things right at the open. So most importantly, guys, if somebody is just coming right at open at 9:30 and trying to nail the trades, it is very hard because you don't have your levels. You are just looking at ideas, not even alerts, even at ideas, and you're trying to nail, and you get bad entries, and then you stop out, and then stock stops you out, and then it moves the way you really wanted it to go. But it ends up happening is you lose, right? Or you try to trade like many trades, right? Not just one, and then you just don't focus on the few trades. So that's what happens. So anyways, I will go back, start how we started the day, what was our watch list, and then we'll go through. First of all, before I go that, let's review the levels that I gave yesterday. How did they pan out? All right, so SPY, our levels of support were 440, resistance was 440,
DBGI.
Our scanner is going crazy. So SPY 443.30, 444.30, 444.67. And if you see, the levels were given, and where did it reject? Right here, the 440.30 area, 444.30 area. And so levels were spot on, and then it faded all day from that. And let's look at our QQ level, 368, 367. Where did it reject from? Right from 367 area. Because it was gapping down, there was no clear trend. It pushed over EMA clouds, but never could get over the pre-market highs.
DBGI.
So these are our automated board scanners, which are still on. Let me turn them off. Yeah, that's how we catch a lot of these plays in the room. All right, I turned them off. So we were talking about, one second, let me fix something here. So we were talking about those levels, right? So Apple level, big level was 177, on the top level was 178. Let's see if that level works or not. So Apple kind of tried to push over the 178, and then it tried to push, and then it faded back from yesterday's level. So that level was not really that accurate, because it's not always, but the reason I had this level for 178 was because of the yesterday's setup. And then of course we had this support of 177, which when broke, we traded it into the close, and it faded. So got a little scalp here into the close using this 177 level. So Tesla this morning, it was holding the pre-market lows, and I guided about the push into 234. I didn't personally trade it, but I know people were in it, so I was guiding them to move from here, and the gap fill was the target, and 234 resistance right here, as I mentioned, the resistance pivot, and the people in community shorted it, and it nicely faded back. Once EMA cloud breaks, it's done, and then all day fade right from our 234 level, and Tesla is still weak, going to 220 for tomorrow. Yeah, and there were some levels on Nvidia levels of resistance, 448, 450, never went there, then 445. So it rejected this 445, and then it faded all day. It was a choppy day on Nvidia. Again, Today all the trades on these indices names, the major blue chips, was not a clean trade, so that's why a lot of people got chopped in the morning. And then yes, the best trade of the day, the Meta, my short today, which I will show you in a bit. Meta, my short was under 300 or EMA cloud push, and all the levels worked nicely. 300 kept rejecting, a nice fade into the close overnight. Pretty nice fade on Meta. So AMD, what was the level? 110 was the support level, which once gave up under the EMA clouds, all day fade, rejected EMA clouds again, all day fade. So guys, and the VIX. So VIX, our level we were watching today was 16 breakout, and the 16 breakout gave nice trades on SPY. If you traded the 16 breakout here, dip to 16 breakout here, and SPY faded. So as you see, the levels I gave, so that you can decide how to trade, what call and puts you can trade. So if you even turned the room off and just went to the levels and traded off them, you kind of did good. But the problem today was the chop. Stock was over the EMA, but it was rejecting, bearish, falling down, coming back up. It's always hard. So let's look what were our other trades. So today there was bunch of news, bunch of things gapping up, gapping down, and it was hard to just focus on the one name. And as you see, there was a news on COHR, which was a big trade for us. There was a news on CAVA, DLO, Target, Coin, and we had our watch list ready. Today was relatively a bigger watch list. I'm gonna try to focus on just few names moving forward, because I know a lot of people had a little problem with the bigger watch list because they couldn't focus on the few names. And then we looked at the news, what the news was: Target, Tesla, TSM, CAVA, and JD. So we discussed that. So CAVA, my first idea in the morning was any push into EMA, fail and short it, and that's how the CAVA was all day short for us. Let's see. So hold the puts from morning idea. The next target was 45. It met our target. Make sure you logged some and left some lotos. So all days CAVA was our short. No reason to cover, because under the EMA clouds, gap up, it will fill the gap, will meet our target, and that's what happened. CAVA failed. I even mentioned again, fails, short any bounce, and CAVA all day big trade for us. So CAVA was a nice little trade, all day fader for us. So that was CAVA. We had a loss today on JD, but it was not really loss for me, because I was giving the warnings on JD, what JD was doing. So JD, if rejects resistance, will be bearish. And so JD was a short, and it was working initially from the EMA clouds, was fading back, but it was holding this level. It was clear it's trying to hold this level. I want to see lower lows, lower highs, like I had in CAVA, or the other short that we did was COHR, right? So JD, it was not making a new low, and I also mentioned on the voice that if it pulls, I will, I'm going to cover, and that's what I did, right? The warning was given and I covered, so I mean, I didn't have a big loss on it, but for the sake of the community idea, this is considered as a losing idea, losing trade, but that's a part of game. We will lose, but we did not lose a lot. I didn't kept holding, or I didn't guide to hold till the full gap fill. I was waiting to reshort. If the gap failed, my price alerts were there, but it never filled the gap and failed right before there, and I missed the reshort. But that was the idea. But you see how it held the pre-market, got over the resistance, pushed into the gap, came back. So JD, our failed trade of the day. So Tesla, that I just mentioned, that met our nice target today. from the morning. So what was Tesla? Let's see. So Tesla initially, I said if it bases over EMA cloud, risk 227. So that was my guidance, that risk 227, and that Tesla we can push. You can risk this 227 and we can push. And that's what happened. Tesla pushed. Let's see what was my next commentary. I said Tesla held EMA clouds can fill the gap into 10 a.m. And that's what happened. Tesla filled the gap into 10 a.m. right here. Then the resistance that I shared earlier, 234, rejected, right? So Tesla had room to 233 when it was pushing out of 232s. So, and it did meet our target. So Tesla was kind of the right on the guidance. If somebody had the wrong entry at the highs, then if they held, they lost. But the guidance was the risk was here over EMA clouds, and if it's not breaking, just get out. And it was a good short. I personally didn't do it. I missed it, but it respected our levels. Thing is about trying to understand how the process works. So today everything moved over, faked us out, and came down. Ideally, if there was a nice, if there was a nice pullback, it pulled into EMA clouds, fade all day. But this one tried to reclaim the bullish gap and then failed. This is again like JD, filled the gap and faded. So this is, remember this setup, fill the gap and faded. So let's look at our another idea of the morning, COHR. So COHR, I was short right at the morning. As I said, COHR short. I even discussed in the pre-market. So once it started to pull back, I started the short, and when it broke the pre-market lows, it was a clear trade to the downtrend, and I was holding the COHR short, covered some. My target was 30, and it did meet my target right on the point and some more. Right, so the problem is a lot of people miss these trades. They were either in JD or they were either in 10 other trades. So that's what happens. So I focused on the trades because I like these gap down shorts. They are A plus for me. And if people didn't cover JD or got chopped out, because a lot of people told me today that their trade went from green to red. So that's the problem, right? That's the problem if it happens to you too much. And it was just one of those days. Nothing was a clean trend in the morning. Right, so if you have a bad entry, it will have it. That's the part of the game. But all I can guide and help is to reduce those losses. So as you see, that was another winning idea. Clearly these are the trades which saved my day, because I lost in SPY chop in the mid of the day. I lost some in JD. I tried to short target, which I got a bad entry, and then I covered, but then it faded rest of the day. So the mistake I did when the target was, I started quite early when it was right here, and then it was pushing back up. Then I stopped out, but then it faded all day. So you see, so I wanted to see what it does over 34.50, and I started the short, and then I covered it as well because I was out, just a small loss. But then it faded because I don't like to short when it's holding the trend, right? My system. I like to short when it's under. So that's, you can see that how I'm struggling with the setup because it's holding the EMA clouds. I started short early, and then I know it could easily pull back to 135, but I don't want to short this because it's over EMA clouds. It was a nice short when it came back down here, and you could have risked this. And I think I was guiding there that is breaking the clouds, and then it went lower. So the price alerts were pretty neat, right on target. So Meta all day guidance on Meta, short any pops. Been talking about this 300 level, also posted on Twitter. Big rejection of 300. So the problem was, even I had to size in and out of Meta a few times because when it was chopping, I covered my short. I got out, then it rejected 300. I got another entry, not a good entry, but my risk was 300, and then it finally faded for us, right? So it was not clean in the morning, right? Of course, I told to short, big rejection on EMA clouds, the levels 301, 300, and hold the short. But I think if people got a bad entry here and then they panicked and they took off, and then the meta faded all day for nice fade. So as you see, so the meta, the big rejection and the nice fail 34.50, hold your puts. And when it was choppy, I was like, I don't really like this action because it's taking my profits back. But then it finally started to break down. That's when, I re-added, and then it, then I covered everything once it hit there, and I never really added again. But I got a nice trade till 296. It was a decent trade, nothing special. But this was my A+ setup versus a 300 psychological level, like I talk every time, 300, 100. These are the levels that always give us a good trade. So my other idea today was to short Google. If you see right at open, Google bearish bias, watch any push to 129.50, 130 for the short. So Google, so it pushed towards 130, right? So I know it was over the EMA clouds, but look at the wicks and 130 level. And once it was a big reject, that's it. That's when you get short. And then it faded under the EMA clouds all day, right? So it was ideal to cover some from the morning, cover some here, nice fade, good trade on the options. Then we had some losses midday on the SPY. The SPY, not going to talk much about SPY, but so FOMC came. I was trying to short the SPY small size when FOMC hit. Then I added the size here and hoping for more downside, but there was a buyer. They came back up. I stopped out, took my loss, then I was out. I didn't want to trade it again, because I don't like this action. I want a clean action. I already took one loss. I did not want another loss. But I did trade Apple short later in the day, which I will show you. And then it faded from, look at this candle, right? So this candle tells you that this is a short setup with 34.50, and you fade it back down. Definitely a tough day, especially midday trades. That's what I say. Midday trades are always tough. Don't do it. If you don't want, don't do it. Right. So that was our loser on SPY. COHR, I think I already covered. Let's see what else we talked about. Yeah, DLO. So DLO, my thing was, if it was breaking under, I would have taken the short, but it held it, and I didn't personally could take a trade on 34.50 because I was busy with the other trades. But DLO, it held it, and once it pushed, that was my idea to long it versus the EMA clouds, right? Bounce versus EMA clouds, no position for me, but you see first 15 minutes, if you add here, you find your risk level somewhere here, and then you just a starter size. And from my 946, 958 idea, flag breakout, holding trend, flag breakout alert, 23 went to 24. Next target 24, and then the pullback. So another winning idea, DLO. See, I always mention what trade I take or I don't take, but I still keep guiding everyone in the community because somebody's trading DLO, somebody trading CAVA, somebody taking KOHR. It's what so many people in the community. But I want everybody to see what is working and what is not. Then we had this trade in the close, Apple 1 hour breakdown. This one right here, very critical level. That's why it's gapping down in the after hours. You see it's at 176 after breaking the 177 level. That was the short. Watch the Apple bounce. Short if VIX keeps ramping. So yeah, so finally Apple, finally a trade. I didn't touch SPY QQ, but there was a good short in the close, and then finally you know, if you're listening, you got a nice trade there as well. I am little, you know, I know a lot of people today. The 44% people were green, 30% were red, but a lot of people turned green later once our place started working. So you just need to see if the morning is not working, just take the quick losses, wait for the rest of the day. If some setup shows up, you know, so you can turn it into green. There were some people red because, you know, because I think too much happening at the open, but you have to come early. So I did a poll in the community today, so I'll show you. So let's see. So I said, the folks who are green, when did you start in the morning? 80% people were here 45 to 15 minutes before, 45 minutes before. So that tells you that the preparation matters, you know, the pre-market prep matters. I'm discussing, I'm on the live screen every day. My screen is up half an hour before. I'm creating my watch list, looking at everything, and you can see the people are following me. They know what Rip is looking at, the short setups, the long setups. They are ready and they find their setup which is the best for them and they hit it. So that's what you need to do. You can't come in the market right at open and expect to make a good trade just because I'm trading it. Right? For example, JD. Yeah, I took a loss on JD, but I had other winners as well. But you took a loss on JD and you moved on. You got a bad entry on Meta and you bailed, and Meta failed all day. Yeah, I tried to long coin today. So I was trying to fill coin here. I took a starter long. When it didn't work, I bailed, took a little small loss on coin because I did really like the coin daily chart. That's why I was in the coin, you know, but it really failed badly. So that was a loser idea on coin. Yeah, I was watching 80-81 pullbacks, only the limit orders, you know, got filled. Then it didn't hold the EMA clouds, and then it tried to reclaim, chop us out, and, you know, and finally turned into a loser. But I knew it's, you know, I mean, once it was under, it was a low probability, so things happen. So that was our loser for the day. So guys, as you see, there's always winners, there are always losers, but it's your own execution, your own planning. I talk about many names in the morning and many work, some don't work. It's up to you to which one to trade, how to trade. You can't get into 5-6 trades in the morning, right? And the VIX was really helpful today. I know many people had a good day today with the VIX because my guidance, my levels. So one of the members in the room, he shorted Tesla and he shorted himself. I didn't give any alert, right? But I just said that 234 is a resistance, and he shorted it here, took this resistance, and the big fade all day. Check it out, right? 234 all day, right there. Yeah, so 234, big level from yesterday. So 234 was a big level. You know, it was a level from yesterday. All right, guys, let's see what I think of market now for tomorrow. I think if market gaps up a lot, then I think it'll have one little bounce, but it's pretty heavy on the daily. You know, it says 238 is this next support. We are breaking 50 EMA on daily, so we are really in a bearish trend. So I think we might see more downside, right? But I don't want to have it too much gap down tomorrow because then it spoils my setups. Maybe just a little gap up and then fade. And because if it gaps up down too much, and it's already doing it after hours, so because Apple broke a critical level today, this is not good. So Apple can push down to 175. Meta broke 300, so right here. right? You see Meta broke 300. So 300 was the short, and look where it closed. The setup worked under the 3450 EMA clouds. So Amazon is the only short. I did not look at it today, even though I knew it had a lot of room. I should have focused on it, but Amazon has a room, and if it breaks 135 tomorrow, then Amazon has a room to, so Amazon has a room to so to this level where it fills the gap at 134. So that is the actually lower than 134. That's where it fills the gap, breaking the 20 EMA, that it's gonna pull back more. So that was Amazon. Okay, let's look AMD. Tomorrow, if AMD breaks this level, we can see more downside. The charts are getting uglier, so you know, I mean, they are getting ugly, so we have to see what happens tomorrow. Google, yes, there's a gap under there too. So Google is right there, so you can see, you know, it's breaking this range. So tomorrow will be interesting. We just have to ready with our daily charts. We will be ready tomorrow. So that was Google. Let's look at Boeing. So Boeing, big gap, not a, is it a gap? No, it's not a gap, but there's a lot of downside here under 20 EMA. So a lot of these ugly charts showing up. So, you know, we just have to see what happens tomorrow. So I'm not really like, you know, crazy bullish to bounce, because this 20 EMA is breaking down on so many names. Nvidia has some support at 434, then can pull back lower. So especially if VIX breaks out tomorrow, then over 17, I will be interested in all those names to short, right? Meta, Baba, nothing in Baba. So we'll just focus on those main few names: Google, AMD, Nvidia, QQQ. Very ugly breakdown on QQ today, under 3450 EMA. Really ugly breakdown here on the 3450 EMA, right? So I mean, if we gap down too much, then there might be a capitulation bounce, but I'm not going to be a crazy bias. But market is getting into very bearish mode right now, just breaking down all the levels, all the key supports. So watch Apple tomorrow, what it does. So, you know, all right guys, that's it for today. Thank you for joining. If you want to trade with us, come join the room. I'm live every day, on voice every day, first few hours, guiding everyone. Come for ideas, come for education, don't come for alerts. Thank you.